We're live.
Yeah, that's right. News AF here on it. It's Tuesday. We're here. News AF.
Feels
Boom. Ready to go here.
All my windows are boarded up.
Yes, you ready? You ready? Okay. Special News AF, November 3rd, 2020.
That's to
bring you
protect
any
people, by the
breaking
way, from
news
the
happening at
outside.
this hour.
Yeah.
For
Should I go
me.
get my phone, do you think, or it's fine not to having my phone in the room?
Well, the chat will tell us if there's anything that's breaking, unless this is like stuff that's breaking that's particularly pertaining to you.
If something
Okay.
so big is breaking that we need to talk about it, the podcast
that's not,
probably
you
won't
can't just hear
matter.
Rachel screaming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got our special news. Yes, Tyson?
Oh, I'm just going to hit record. Should I hit record now?
Yeah, do it.
Yep, I touched it
Done did.
and hit record.
Me too.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to be so good.
Should be
Let's
good.
see.
Should be good. We have a lot of good stories to talk about today.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
OEMG based God. I've binged every News AF during the pandemic, and we've never gotten the Tyson Danny origin story. I thought they grew up together, then that they were pro cyclists together. Now I have no idea.
There's got to
Yeah.
be some mystery.
Yeah, it does have to be a mystery.
You've never talked about that on the podcast?
No, we have. I feel like we have.
I don't know if we've told the whole origin story, but
Mhm.
there's a lot going on today. So whether or not we get to it today, I don't know.
Yeah, that'll be right after the Big Brother update at the end of the show.
Okay, yeah. Stay tuned after our Big Brother updates. The final ones of the season, I believe. Maybe we'll do some more next week. And, yeah, and then we'll talk about the origin story of Danny and Tyson.
Okay, here we are back in our regularly scheduled time after a summer and a fall of live feed updates.
Mhm.
Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay, is that an emergency? Is that one of the things that you need your phone for?
I can't tell if it's a ghost or a child crying.
Does sound like a ghost.
Yeah.
Is there a ghost out there?
A poltergeist.
Okay. Uh-oh. Was that arguing?
That's Marlo. That's Rachel grabbing Marlo away from the office door, and Marlo saying, "Leave me alone."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So,
I get that also.
yeah,
All
that's
right, you
fine.
ready for News AF?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Rob Cisterna, back again to talk with you about the week's most interesting news stories for the week of November 3rd, 2020, here on News AF.
If the story is buzzing like it's on crystal meth, it's about to be News AF. If the same old news makes you bored to death, it's time for some News AF. Actual, factual news.
Yeah, here we are live on Tuesday morning here to talk about all of the week's top stories at this hour. And here we are back with a man who is the top influencer in all of pickleball. He's given away a bunch of Survivor gear recently. Here is Tyson Apostle. Tyson, how are you?
Fantastic. And
Yes.
yeah, I have given away my Survivor game worn buff from Winners at War, the merge buff. And I think there'll be more in the future. I'll do more giveaways like that. Those are fun. Maybe some signed pictures, etc. And I am the number one pickleball influencer in the world. Although the pickleball forum on Facebook, there was a man who did not agree with that title, even though I have that as my title on all my social medias. He had he was quite upset that I had the audacity to label myself as such.
Number
But-
one.
Tyson, not everybody has to agree with you.
But
Not
you know
everyone
what?
agreed with Jesus.
Joke's on him, because number one pickleball personality in the world is patent pending trademark. And if
Nice.
somebody else wants that title, they're going to have to buy it from me.
Yeah. Okay. Smart
So
thinking.
that guy can suck it. Also,
Whoa.
Yeah.
I saw a great meltdown in the airport this morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you
First of
flew
many
in.
today.
I flew in today
Yeah.
from out of town, and it was early. And this lady that was all she took herself very seriously. You could tell just by the way she was dressed, etc. and she was sitting there under her fancy like brimmed hat thing that she had going on,
Like a sombrero.
kind of, but like a Southwest cowboy hat style gambler hat.
Mm-hmm.
And there was another dude that sat across from her, but like a little ways across in diagonal. And I just had like a glassy glazed look in his eyes. It was like 5:30 in the morning. And he was
in
just
the terminal.
Like, in the terminal. And he was kind of just like, I think he was looking through her, like not even at her, just through her. And she lost it. She was just like, can I help you, sir? And he didn't even know that she was talking to him. And she's like, can I help you? And he's just like, oh, too tired to do anything. And she's like, can I help you? And she started saying the F word in the terminal directed at this man who
5:30 a.m.
a.m. Yelling.
Tough time for everyone.
He never even ever realized that she was directing anything at him ever the entire time. Yeah, he just was staring straight through her, and then he just like casually like looked a different direction, and she like was like looking around at everybody like the audacity of that man. And I get it; it's a little weird, but like if he's not getting it, like you got to take a different approach. It was so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
everyone just wants to be acknowledged.
That was it. And she was irritated the whole rest of the thing. You could tell. Yeah. And that guy had no clue that anybody was ever mad at him.
His life was never affected. Him. He's probably enjoying lunch right now with a big smile on his face, thinking he did his job just perfectly.
And she's complaining to a group of friends over brunch.
Yeah. Meanwhile, her life has been shortened by at least 6 months due to the stress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe people aren't just used to having social interactions anymore. People aren't used to being around other people.
Yeah, they are not.
They're not. And a man who is never going to get used. Yes.
I was going to film it because I was like right on the beginning, the cusp of it. But I thought if I aimed my camera at her, she would flip out.
Claw your eyes out.
No, but that's the best content.
Okay, you're right.
That's true.
Oh, I missed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the whole time when she's yelling at me, I could say, do you know who I am? And she'd be like, no. And I'd be like, do you know who I am? But I have a mask, glasses. Chances of her even watching Survivor are slim to none. It would have been really great content. Probably the best content I finally would have gone viral.
Finally.
A man who could have captured it all with one of his many drones is here, though. Danny Bryson. Danny, how are you?
Recovering
from what?
Danny.
I hit a large mammal with my car.
A human?
Oh my God.
No, thank goodness it wasn't a human. But I did get a little taste of what it might be like to hit a human with my car, a 250-pound human. No, I struck a deer with my car, which was a first. And as last I know of, the deer was fine. Yeah. And the airbag went off, which I've never experienced. So check that box. Got to experience an airbag.
Will you explain the airbag to me? Because I've heard they're a nightmare when they go off in your face. Like you can't breathe. They punch you in the nose pretty hard. Like I've never walk us through it. Is it miserable? Was it just like whatever? Was there popcorn in it afterwards? How did it work?
I'm driving along. It's nighttime. Okay. And the deer right now are out of their minds because they're getting ready to breed. So they're just all over.
Oh, they're only thinking about one thing.
Yeah, it's like a high school dance. And so they're just all over the place they're horn dogging it everywhere they can. I'm driving actually by Tyson's old place of employment.
And my father's wood shop.
Yes.
Not like a real job. A real job, sure, but not a real.
For everybody else there, it was a real job. For Tyson, maybe not. So I'm going 65, and at the last moment, I see the deer. Now, this has happened multiple times that I've seen deer in the road because I drive to work and see. I've seen 5 deer get struck by other cars, and always breathe a sigh of relief that it wasn't me. Most of those cars are almost always right in front of me. So I think that it was just playing the odds, and eventually it was going to happen. So I managed to swerve out of the way, but you're going 65. You got to split the difference between losing control of your car and hitting the deer. So I nudged him. I gave him a 65-mile-an-hour nudge with the corner of my truck, and the airbag exploded. And the first thing I thought was, holy balls, that was louder than anything I've ever heard. The impact plus the explosion of the airbag. And you know what? The second thing I realized is that the airbag scientists who came up with this, there's a big problem with the way an airbag is deployed because I'm still going nearly 65 but my entire windshield is now covered in a type of smoke or dust. So it's like, okay, I'm glad that airbag was there to protect my beautiful face. But at the same time, I can no longer see anything. I'm in the middle of traffic coming towards me at 65. And all I can see is probably I had an inch of visibility above the dashboard to where the dust or smoke or whatever the heck it was ended. And so luckily, as skilled as I am, I was able to pull over to the side of the road. And then I found out I didn't have insurance anymore, that it had lapsed. So that was a lovely thing to find out. And then I just tore off the broken appendages of my car, threw them in the back, and drove home with half a bumper missing. So yeah, an exciting night out.
Wow.
So did your face get punched by the airbag?
No, the seatbelt held me so firm that I didn't move at all when I hit it. So the airbag was close, but I just cut that off on the so I could drive home. It didn't hit me in the face.
Yeah, you cut the airbag. Is that what?
Yeah, I got a pair of scissors. I don't know. I just cut it off so I could drive.
Wow.
Should they have scissors in their car?
Yeah, right. My car was full of so many dangerous tools. I had a 40-pound propane tank in the back of my truck. I had all sorts of saws, saw blades, chainsaws, gasoline. I mean, I was basically a moving bomb and blade depository. So I'm just lucky that not only did my car not explode, but send blades and nails in all directions.
So it seems like go ahead, Tyson.
Did the deer have insurance to maybe you could use the deer's insurance?
I hope he has health insurance. If he does, he probably has better coverage than I do when it comes to health insurance.
So what do you do now? You just bite the bullet on that car and pay for it all out of pocket? Or
so it's a work truck. So work will pay for it, thank goodness. But it was kind of like split up the way that the insurance was meant to be paid. So there might be a little blame slinging here, but hey,
slinging.
The good thing is that I'm alive.
The important thing is that everybody, aka you, is safe.
I'm safe.
And exactly. Rob and I, in a lighthearted manner, predicted your death not too long ago. And this may be the closest you've ever come to death that we've.
You want to know what's crazy? The number of animals. So I don't like hitting animals. I hate it when they run out in the road, right?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Clearly.
I have hit a squirrel and I was like, come on, squirrel. Like, why'd you run out there?
Yeah.
I have hit a rabbit all within the last couple of weeks. And now I upgraded to a deer. It's like something's going on. Their minds are blown as much by 2020, I think, as ours.
This is how serial killers start. They just start.
Right. I get a taste for it. At no point do I like hitting an animal, not even tiny little ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't like this progression. What's next? An elk, an elephant, a giraffe?
Hopefully not a giraffe. Yeah.
You're done. You hit a moose, you're done.
Yeah.
Game over. Closed casket funeral for me.
Listen, Danny,
well, especially now that you have no airbags.
Now I don't have an airbag. So
yeah. Wow. Man, that is so crazy. And we are glad that you're safe and that everything worked out and that deer appears to be okay.
He was fine. Like I said, last time I saw him, he was still alive.
Dude, I've only hit a deer one time and I did that same thing. I tagged it with the corner of my car as I was slamming on my brakes. And it just kind of took a couple hops, looked around and was like, oh, that car hit me. And I got out and I had a huge dent in the side of my car. And I was like, that deer really took it.
I will say deer are more tough than humans.
We think, but did it just walk a mile and then die?
No, last time I saw it, it was attempting to fly away.
Okay.
So
reindeer.
I'm just gonna assume that it landed on all fours like a cat and then took off into the tall grass.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah. Anyway, let's hope that that's it. I see bad things happen in 3, so that was my 3rd.
Good.
Yeah.
So
the squirrel, the rabbit, and the deer. That was number 3. Okay.
Yeah, geez, I'm gonna have a lot to atone for if I go up to heaven and it's be like, dude, distract driving much, and then I'll see all of them standing before me, judging me.
Well, if the world works or the afterlife is actually reincarnation, you'll come back in the form of 1/3 squirrel, 1/3 rabbit, 1/3 deer as punishment to live those lives that you have destroyed.
Wow, I'd be wandering the world or earth, scaring children with my deformed presence.
And
Awesome.
running and jumping out of the way of cars.
I'll be born with my Halloween costume intact.
All right. Well, today, of course, is a big day, Election Day 2020, a day that we've been hearing about for many years, November 3rd,
4 years.
2020. And of course, that we are here to cover all the news. But for a lot of people, 55% of people say today is actually the most stressful day of their lives. How about that?
Huh. Well, that's kind of crazy because think about all the other things that happen. Divorce, financial ruin, closing of a business,
having a baby with no savings.
Yeah. I mean, and this one thing that, to be honest, it will impact you, but not as much as any of those other things I've said is causing more stress. That blows my mind.
Guess what age group is most affected by Election Day stress?
The youngins.
Millennials, 61%.
That's because they've been programmed. I mean, this year is to my remembering, is definitely a little more extreme than they have been in the past. But even like the George W. Bush elections and this and that, those were all like Gore. Those were all stressful times for us. And there was
Dewey and Truman.
There was all a certain amount of that, of what's going on this time. And maybe this is just their first experience, and maybe the most extreme that we've experienced, but we've experienced it to a certain degree.
Yeah, we've been told many times that this is the most important election of our generation. And after you hear that 5 or 6 times, you're like, "Pah."
Yeah, I would say, like the Bush-Gore election was close and it was stressful at the time, but I don't remember, either
that during
party
the presidency
saying like it was the end of civilization if their side lost.
Yeah, I think that everybody's been saying that from the beginning of elections.
A little bit.
I mean, it's like in one way or another, you tell the people that if you don't vote for me, everything is just ruined. It's you're throwing everything in the trash. The world is going to hell in a handbasket, but I can save everything if you vote for me. It's a common pitch.
Is this election the most important because they always just are the most important, either because they're current or because as time changes and the future changes, that does then become the most important election?
Because it's the one happening today.
Yeah, this is the most important one. This is the most important one.
Yeah, it is, but it's not. I mean, 55% of people, the most stressful day. It makes sense. Millennials are saying that because not a lot of stressful days have passed for them. Meaning they haven't experienced a lot of those things I mentioned previously. So it's like that kind of makes sense.
Here's what I would argue why it's the most important one, because I feel like that with the other ones, it wasn't like, well, I don't know what the next one is going to look like if this one goes a certain way. Like, I think that there's a lot, first, let me just say that I was trying to set this up to say that we were going to try to not stress people out on this podcast.
I can tell by how you're stumbling along that you're trying to thread a very fine.
Yeah, but what I am saying is like I'm not sure what elections look like in 2024 if things if things go haywire today.
They'll be better. The elections in 2024 and 2028. I don't have a crystal ball, but I think they're going to be a lot of fun.
They'll be the same. I think that, I think that they'll be the same. And by the way, by the time those elections take place, hey, millennials, guess what? You'll understand how the whole system works. You'll be like, oh, okay, I've been through this before. I know that all of this, so much hyperbole, it's all out of control. But after the election, 90% of my life will return to being exactly the same as it was before November.
That bad? Yeah. Okay. All right. So for the 55% of you, and especially the 61% of millennials who are, this is the most stressful day of your life.
Just listen to this podcast.
We'll try to change the subject. And of course, most people will listen to the podcast later and the election will maybe be decided.
No.
No.
Let's not even touch on it. Let's talk about the Sausage King.
Yeah, let's talk about some other stuff going on.
That train situation. That was awesome. That was one of my favorite stories.
Well, why don't we start with the Sausage King, of course.
Okay.
This has been a huge story everywhere. People want to talk about the Russian oligarch, the Sausage King.
Oh, this isn't about Danny?
No.
I saw the headline, The Sausage King, and I was like, oh, a story about Danny.
Finally, Danny made the news for the one
Yeah.
thing about his life that matters.
They called him that in high school, the Sausage King.
Yeah. I've lost the title since then.
That's because you lost some weight and got vascular.
Yeah, the Sausage King, the Russian oligarch.
Let's hear about him.
He was murdered.
Crazy.
Oh, not just murdered. By the way, we don't talk about murder very often.
You would not. Yeah, this has to be exceptional, but this is like true crime. That he was murdered in a sauna, and the murder weapon was a crossbow. Tyson.
Yeah,
this is like Eastern Promises. Almost exactly like that.
That is the movie, yeah. Where they do that huge wrestling thing in the sauna.
Yeah. And by the way, he was tortured as well.
They tortured him first?
Yeah, they tortured him first, but his girlfriend escaped through a window. She was there with him, and he was
co-ed
tortured.
Sauna.
Yeah, I mean, stay away from saunas.
That's how all saunas are in Europe, co-ed.
Yeah, what happens in a sauna,
yeah.
You go into a sauna in Russia, if a big guy with a beard comes in, and then another guy comes in, it's too late. You got to sit near the door. You got the first time when the big guy comes in, the first one, you go out right away and try to get between them, even though the other guy coming in behind the big guy will stop you and make you go back in.
Now, is Russia an open carry crossbow country?
As far as I know, in certain parts of Russia, it's open carry whatever weapon you want.
Anything, yeah.
Maces,
it's actually you have to have something to open carry, or else that's when they're like, not here in Siberia, my man.
Got it.
I'm surprised that this oligarch, and by the way, the wife, his ex-wife, is under suspicion for this because they were trying to get information out of him. I guess some kind of privileged information. That's why they tortured him. And so they suspect the ex-wife as sending in these goons to crossbow him to death.
Wow.
So, I mean, dude, it's great to be rich, but it definitely, in Russia, it comes with certain risks, I think. To be an oligarch, if you have the term oligarch anywhere near your name, I think you're taking a risk.
Yeah. Gregory in the chat says that you got to have a prison shank when you're when you go to the sauna in Russia as the Sausage King. You know, come on, Sausage King. He knew better. Took a risk.
How did he not have protection? He's an oligarch. I mean, we
have
that in the title. I mean, you would think he would have an armed or two armed guys.
Danny, do we know anything about this? Is this a public sauna?
I wouldn't think so.
Come on, they don't go. The Sausage King does not go to a public sauna.
I mean, unless it's like a super fancy pants, maybe like a super fancy pants, like a bathhouse style thing.
Fancy no pants.
Fancy no pants thing.
Like the Four Seasons, Russian Four Seasons.
But even fancier. I think even fancier than that, Danny.
The Sausage King. You know what? I admire anyone who's willing to become the Sausage King. It's like, dude, he probably wore that name with pride. You know, like, I am the Sausage King. And probably said that. He probably, when he went to parties, he was introduced as now introducing Jonathan, the Sausage King Bobrowski. And then he would walk in. He freaking loved it.
Yeah. Wow. The legacy of the Sausage King after being murdered with a crossbow, Danny, only goes up, right?
Yeah. Now
tortured and crossbowed.
The myth will only grow from here on out.
Will live on.
So now does his wife become the Sausage Queen, or was she already the Sausage Queen? Who takes the crown? Is there going to be
Remember, he had a
battle?
girlfriend that was in there with him that escaped
the
through
Sausage
a window.
Princess. So we got the Sausage Queen, his
wife.
He
had a girlfriend and a wife, or the one
ex-wife, ex-wife.
Oh, okay, yeah,
an ex-wife. So an ex-wife is the Sausage Queen. The girlfriend is the Sausage Princess.
Were they fighting over the title?
That exactly. She was hoping to become the Sausage Queen.
They have to fight over the title now. That's what's going to happen.
In keeping with kingship, he was just taking on many mistresses. That's pretty classic, you know. That's all part of being a king.
A Sausage King.
Until you die of syphilis.
Yeah. Do you think that there was any significance to the murder weapon being a crossbow, Tyson? Was there a metal detector perhaps at the sauna?
Dude, I don't know, because I mean, I've been where they've had security detail before, and the security detail that came with us brought carbon fiber weapons that couldn't be detected through metal detectors.
What?
Whoa.
And it was crazy, dude. And so maybe that was, but I don't know. I don't know why the crossbow. I think this is what I think. I just think whoever the guy was that they hired to do this was just like, I'm going to do it cool. Yeah, I'm a crossbow guy. That's my signature.
He went into his weapons room,
which is hidden behind a hidden door in the back of his closet.
And he had like grenade launchers, machine guns, pistols, swords, battle axes. And he's like, oh, I haven't used a crossbow in a while. We better break this thing out and make sure it still works. And then it is very strange, but I mean, a couple hundred years ago, crossbows deaths were pretty common.
Maybe there's a shortage on ammo. Yeah, maybe there's a shortage on ammo.
Yeah, that's true. It could be shortage on ammo. Is expensive too. You can get the arrow back.
Yeah, you always get the arrow back.
They left the crossbow behind, though. I don't think they were concerned about money.
No, probably wasn't nice. He probably makes his own out of wood and stone and
I mean,
goose feathers.
If I'm going to take a whole bunch of sausages, I'm going to definitely drop the crossbow to grab an extra handful of sausage.
Do you think the sausage keeps some sausage in his car, like to just snack on while he's driving?
Yeah, and he's just got like a pack.
No, I don't think he's sick of it.
Canines chasing him around town all day long.
I don't think he's sick of it, because to really be the king of something, you have to embrace it fully to be successful.
I think the crossbow. This is what happened. They were like, "You're going to have to leave the weapon," and the guy's like, "Well, I got this crossbow with coupons out of Boys Life magazine. Didn't use it like I thought I was going to.
Leave the crossbow. Take the cannoli."
Oh man,
That's
I think
move.
we can
Take
only
the
really
sausage.
we can only talk about this story because it happened in Russia, and sometimes I feel like we imagine Russia as a different planet.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, have you ever watched? Do yourself a favor one night and go deep down the rabbit hole on YouTube of Russian fail vids. Down the rabbit
fail vids.
It's
Russian
just,
fail
or
videos.
there were Instagram accounts completely
dedicated
to Russian men and like Russian life
and traffic.
Yeah, everybody there's got a traffic cam.
Dude,
we used to cover those stories endlessly. I think early on.
They're like feeding grizzly bears with their hands. They got like Siberian tigers just like walking through traffic. They just make their own cars and drive them, and like oh my gosh. And nobody
They make their own cars and drive them
on the street.
Yeah, they do.
Like,
all sorts of stuff.
Imagine if you were like, you know what? I don't really have a car. I have a car, but I'd like a car to be a little bit different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the doors off and the windshield out, and I'm going to put the engine on the back and then take one of the wheels off. No rules. No rules. Yeah.
And you like
awesome.
That. It's awesome.
I like to watch it from a distance.
Yeah, it'd be terrifying.
And I think a younger me would have been excited at the opportunity to visit a place like that. But now that I'm older, I don't know if it's because I have more to lose or just because I'm a little bit more intelligent than I was back then.
Yeah,
or
it's
both.
weird. I feel like it's a society that you feel like that it's sort of like ruled with an iron fist, but at the same time, there's also no rules for a lot
because
of things.
the rules that are ruled with an iron fist only pertain to the leadership. Yeah, and after that, it's like as long as you don't care who's in charge, you can do whatever you want.
It's sort of like when you leave your kids with a babysitter of like, okay, all right, just do not do this, and then whatever else that I don't care what you do.
By the way, if someone with a lot of knowledge about Russia is listening, we all understand that we're very ignorant of it.
We don't know anything.
We don't know anything. We're only commenting on the things we see, the momentary glimpses that we get, and the biases that we have. But
which are honestly, all highlights.
Who knows what Russia's really
We don't get to see the mundane normality of day to day.
Yeah, we're getting the stuff that makes the news, and we all know that's not necessarily representative of the situation.
Well, let's talk about some happier news
I love this
out
story.
Of Europe. Danny is so excited to talk about the out of control, derailed Dutch train, which somehow was miraculously saved when it just so happened to go derailed over a giant whale tail statue,
Awesome.
which has helped to this is like something you would see in a cartoon. Let me share the
Yeah.
the story here. So
What
you
are
can
the odds
check
of that
this out.
happening, dude?
Look at
It is-
this.
It's
This
crazy.
Train is derailed, and it just happened to get derailed onto this giant metallic whale tail statue.
You have to see a picture. Rob talking about it does it no justice.
No justice.
It's
You have
like
to see the
it's
picture.
probably 25, 30 feet off the ground.
Mhm.
And it derailed. It hit the back bumper where it usually, like, that's the thing that's kind of brings it, stops itself. But if not, there's this bumper that should. It plowed through the bumper, breaking it off, which was just a 20, 30-foot drop off the end of it. But the trajectory of the train pushed it over this statue that is like, the statue itself is probably 15 feet away from where the drop initially starts, but because of its momentum, it carried it all the way through over the statue and is sitting perfectly level.
If you look at the picture long enough, it looks like two arms coming out of the ground with fins for hands.
Mhm.
God's arms.
God's arms.
This is what
exactly.
God's arms look like. They have whale
Yeah.
fins on the end of each finger.
Just like,
Yeah.
so when I hit my deer, I thought about all the things that led up to the deer being hit, like all the decisions I'd made, the added minute or reduced time. And when I saw the story, I had a similar thought, like the people who put that statue together, who knows how many years ago.
Do you think this was intentional? Because take a look at this this second picture of that where it is. It's sort of like at the end of this rail yard where it's almost like that. Did somebody imagine, like, well, what if one of these trains ends up going past the gate? Then maybe this thing could prop up the train.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
This is the reason the whale tail was there is because it's over water. The train station is over water.
And it's probably meant to cover up and beautify. the area.
And so they have like some whale tails coming out of the water, and and that is why.
Can I just say that the word whale tail has been ruined for me because I can't
Yes, how
help.
so, Danny?
I can't help but picture the Urban Dictionary definition of a whale tail every
Ruined or
time you
made
guys
better?
say the
Come
word.
on, Danny.
I just want to be
This
an
is a serious
innocent
news
child
show.
again. And when I'm told about a whale tail, I could picture a
Yes.
beautiful, majestic whale tail coming up into the air before it dives back into the water. Instead, I've been corrupted, and all I can picture is thong underwear.
Danny, we're talking about a whale tail here, okay?
Stop saying that word. Is there another word? The flipper, the fin, the tail of a whale. Can we say it that way? The
Tail of a whale.
Yeah, it sounds like a book for
can.
children.
Mm-hmm.
The tail of the whale.
I believe the correct term here is whale tail.
It's too bad.
And this is double meaning also, because this is a story about a whale and also the fin of a whale.
And it's
This is-
also a whale of a tail.
Yes,
Yes,
this was
yes,
the most
that too.
uplifting story of the week. I loved this story, and every time I saw it, it put a smile on my face because it just looks so awesome.
And the sculpture is entitled Whale Tail also.
Well, now they should include the train in the sculpture, right? They should
Mhm.
remove that
Just leave
last
it
car and then put up a little memorial, or not memorial, but a little placard to talk about what happened. And yeah, that now it's become different in a positive way.
Different in a positive way. Okay. All right. Boy, a lot of stuff to talk about. All right. Let's go from talking about whale tails to my favorite story of the week. Let's talk about the weatherization assistance program that was started in a local. It's a great local government story here today. Danny, do you know about the process of weatherization?
As it pertains to what? Like
weatherization
electronics,
is
nature.
this is what when you are going to try to weatherize your house to make
Okay.
sure that you are protected for the winter.
the
winter
okay.
months.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was doing when I hit the deer. I was I have a cabin that I had to go prepare for weather.
Winterize.
Winterize. Thank you, Tyson.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
What I had to do to my house to winterize it was nothing, but eventually I'm going to have to turn off the air conditioning.
Yes.
Aw.
Okay. Smart going. Okay.
Yeah.
So the campaign to start to weatherize your house, which I can tell you more about once this thing that's blocking my ad blocker is out of the way. It's very, very annoying.
The internet is so annoying.
Dude.
Mm-hmm. Yes, fine. But I thought I already turned off ad blocking on this site. Okay. Yes, the Weatherization Assistance Program. A Milwaukee County supervisor, Ryan Clancey, thought, oh, okay, Weatherization Assistance Program, that I think that maybe I could bring in the popularity of the Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion hit single WAP to promote my Weatherization Assistance Program.
Wow.
Didn't go over well.
It probably went over okay.
You would think that it would help popularize the program.
Oh,
but
for sure, dude.
This guy should have known better. How many stories have we done when people try to incorporate popular culture with boring bureaucracy?
The target of I think that he's missing his target audience with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know of this song.
Yes.
But I'm just
You're not
assuming
very familiar with
I'm
the
not
song.
super familiar with it. And I'm just thinking that the younger audience who probably does not care about winterizing a home
because they can't afford to own one.
Yes.
Yeah, weatherizing.
And they're too busy stressing about other things.
Yeah. So Ryan Clancey, he took to the Facebook group for the Weatherization Assistance Program, and he made a meme with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, and said Weatherization Assistance Program, and then quoted them as saying, "There's some holes in this house."
That was the mistake. You can do the whole abbreviation thing with a wink, wink, but when you start
the whole abbreviation thing,
when you start borrowing lines from the song.
Yeah,
that's when it's like, okay, now you've gone too far. You know, he could have just called it the WAP program.
Yeah,
and some people would laugh. Yeah. But the minute you start borrowing lyrics and changing them from the song, and now everybody knows.
Yeah. Somebody said the average weatherizer is 73 and a half years old. So this is a marketing campaign is not going to hit with that audience.
Yeah. People did not like this all the way around. There were people, older people didn't like it because it was raunchy. Younger people didn't like it because that they felt like that this was infringing on Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. And so this is a 0% approval rating.
Yeah.
Well, now he
0.
knows.
And you know what? Maybe he'll be our president one day.
But weatherizing your house is still super important, by the way. Just let's not ignore that.
Yeah, I think it depends on the house, the location. What do you do, Danny? What do you do for weatherization?
Dude, I clear the gutters. Okay. I check my rooftop. I turn off my water and drain it.
Water is actually a very big part of the original WAP song, Danny.
Yeah, I know. Both include moisture in the discussion, but that's a problem. That's really what you want to do is walk around your house, make sure that everything drains well. Your house isn't leaking anywhere. Birds haven't, made any holes or anything. Otherwise, it's just a nightmare.
Right.
Water is our enemy and our savior. That's the problem with water.
Yeah. Perhaps.
So you're saying Satan is the ruler of all things aqua.
I'm just saying that the minute you get a drip in your house, as Rob probably knows too well.
Oh, that is a life ruiner.
Yes, that is true. But the program is not about moisture in the house. So that might have been a better fit if this was actually about trying to prevent there from being water damage to your house.
What's he talking about? What
this is like cold air coming in.
I mean, that's important too for cost, but really water should
like better insulation in your home.
Yeah, that's important. But the only thing I care about is water. Those things matter, but really I live in fear every night when it's raining. Every day I'm like, if water comes from a water heater, like I live in fear of water endlessly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is to, stop the warm air from leaking out.
Well, this makes it even more dumb.
It's even more dumb.
He doesn't even have a tie-in to that song.
Yeah. He doesn't even talk about what you should be doing with your garage, which is also a big plot point of the song.
Probably. Did you listen to this song before we recorded this, or are you?
I've watched the music video because it got so much attention.
Yeah.
And I'm probably too old to watch
He said
it.
he's a big fan of the song.
Wow. Well, then how come he didn't include any reference to moisture?
Because
that's the thing that's blowing my mind.
Danny, that's not what his job was. His job was to help people with keeping your house insulated.
There's so many songs about holes. It's like, don't use one that's mostly about water.
What's another song about holes?
I mean, I can't think off the top of my head, but
so many songs
I'll send
about
you a list.
holes.
Oh yeah, there are. I'll find some and send them to you.
But WAP is the Weatherization Assistance Program.
Yes.
That's why that.
But
that's
really, it should be called something like the Insulation and House Program, the IHP.
Yes.
One of our listeners warned you against watching The Shape of Water, Danny. If water is your enemy, you're not going to enjoy this film.
And when it comes to my house, water is my enemy.
Oh.
And when I'm swimming, water also my enemy because it's really not trying to help me out. It's really trying to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm a friend to water.
Yeah, you think you are. Water is not a friend to you.
Yeah. So yes, the Weatherization program. One of the best ways to make sure your energy bills stay where you can afford them is to make sure your home uses energy efficiently. You can go to your local weatherization agency so they can help insulate your home and water heater. So there is water there. Install energy efficient lighting, reduce air leakage, replace old and inefficient appliances and heating systems.
Yeah, that's all good advice.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's not protecting you from water damage.
No.
Exterior water.
Yes. Okay. All right. So there you go. But you can prevent the swiping of your credit card too much if you follow the advice from the WAP. All right, Danny and Tyson.
Yes.
How about this? This is a story that I think that might have captured the imagination of many. Tyson, have you ever looked to find a magic lamp to make wishes?
No, but I've often dreamed of having wishes. I mean, the either a monkey's paw. I'd take a risk on a monkey's paw. Come on.
Yeah.
Never.
What would your wish be?
Well, you can't wish for more wishes. That's against the rules,
true.
right?
According to Aladdin, you can't make someone fall in love with you.
You can't make someone fall in love with you, but you can
bring somebody back from the dead.
But you can wish for money, right?
Yeah, but
sure. That's a classic wish.
That's a classic wish. At what cost?
Yeah. Like you might wish for money, and then it's like, oh well, Danny happened to make you a beneficiary in his life insurance policy, and now he's dead, but you have money.
And I also have a catalog of mediocre amateur in remembrance of Danny that I can.
But your best friend is gone.
So, would you wish to never die?
I don't think you could do that either.
No, you can't do that.
That's against the rules too.
No, I think you can wish for that, but then you become like a horrible gargoyle who just wants to die.
How about this? You could live forever, but your hair and nose and ears will never stop growing.
What
your
about
hair and your ears will never the hair the hair in your ears.
No, hair, ears, and nose will never stop growing. So you can live forever, but those things will always be growing.
Yeah, always.
God.
You could what about winning the lottery?
Lottery curse. You don't want
the lottery curse?
Not great.
You're gonna get robbed at the first strip club you go to.
Yeah, but not for like $7 billion.
Yeah, you win the lottery, and then here comes the Sausage King's ex-wife's goons with a crossbow.
Crossbow men showing up at your house.
It's not great.
So you're saying skip? You're saying skip the wishes?
Well, no, skip the monkey's paw. So if you can find the Aladdin lamp, I think that those wishes
lamp, there's no repercussions.
Yeah, those are the good wishes. Yeah. That the monkey's paw wishes are not so great. A doctor in India was swindled out of $93,000. He thought that he had found the Aladdin's lamp. he was sold it for $93K, which, Danny, that's a good deal if you can get it.
Yeah, which guy? Well, I guess once you exhaust your 3 wishes, get what you can out of the lamp. But that seems cheap.
Yeah,
that does seem cheap. And
the
also,
2 men, yes.
yeah. I mean, if there's 2 men, that means there's 6 wishes in between them. And then what are they doing? Then they're selling the lamp.
No, the 2 men were selling the lamp. They don't.
Yeah,
get
but they're
3
not
wishes
gonna.
each.
Yeah, they're selling the lamp, but the doctor has to say, okay, why are these guys selling a lamp when they could just wish for $93,000 if they wanted? It's like, they must have both already exhausted their 3 wishes each.
Did not ask a lot of good questions. That
what
he
were
was
your
told.
wishes? Yeah, that would be the first thing I would ask.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's the genie look like? Does he look exactly like the cartoon fictional story that Disney made?
Yeah, was he blue? Because this is from the story. This is from insider.com. That he said that the 2 men who sold him the lamp would often make a spirit appear from the lamp. But then he realized later it was just one of the men dressing up.
How, the most encouraging thing about this story is that someone with this level of intelligence had $93,000.
He's a doctor.
Proves that anyone
He's a doctor.
They met him after he performed surgery on someone they knew.
Yeah, man, probably an amazing surgeon, just not good at anything else.
Would you get surgery from this man?
No, I would not. But I would sell him a lamp. I wouldn't say that. I mean, I would love to see. I wish that he had recorded the pitch when they summoned the spirit and how he was tricked by a person dressed as a spirit. Maybe they did great work.
Mirrors.
Maybe they work for like Light Magic or
Yes.
that group out of San Francisco that does all the CGI.
Blue Man Group.
The Blue Man Group.
The Blue Man Group. Who knows? Maybe they had amazing makeup and everything.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe that someone got swindled that way.
Yeah.
Leave it.
It's hard to. It's hard to.
It is hard. It really is hard. But the thing is like.
Is there more to this story?
No.
I think. Okay.
That's it. What do you want to know?
People believe in the supernatural differently than other people, Danny.
And I understand that.
While you may poo-poo on the idea of a genie's lamp, other people celebrate and believe it wholeheartedly. And who are we to say what's true and what's fiction? You know?
Okay, the lamp sell, I could see people buying a lamp, thinking it was magical. But the fact that they put on this whole show, they had a guy dress up. To me, that would have sent alarm bells ringing just to see this guy dress. How did they do that? What was it? Tons of smoke coming up, dry ice or whatever. And then
they don't say.
That's what I want to know. That's the most interesting thing about this story is that moment when he's like, "Oh heck yeah, dude, I'm in. Here, do you take checks? How many rupees is that?"
Yeah. What do you think it was like at that guy's house, Tyson, once he gets home with the lamp and starts like rubbing? It's like this thing. It's not.
Well, at what point do you decide
it's not working?
At what point do you decide it's not real? Because I feel like if he's believing that it is real as he buys it, and he calls the seller and is like, "It's not working," and then they're like, "Did you tell others about the lamp?" And he's like, "I did," and they're like, "That negates the powers, bro. You got to now. You have to keep it secret for 5 years." To yourself before any
Don't
powers.
Tell Vice News whatever you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think there's ways. I mean, should we start a lamp business?
Like a magic lamp business?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ends well.
For who?
You go to jail.
No, but I mean, listen, did you not hear my story? Oh, you told somebody about the lamp. You got to wait 14 decades now before it will work, but it will work for your posterity. So if you put it in a safe deposit box, and eventually the lamp will be an antique, probably.
Yeah. Danny, I think it's probably an uncomfortable conversation to have with your wife also when you tell her about the $93,000 US that you spent on the lamp.
Well, what if the visits to a married woman's house that you didn't tell her about?
Or what if he rubs the lamp and is like, "I wish for my wife to go away." And then she's still there and she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. I love you."
Yeah.
Now he has a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah. The doctor alleged that he met the salespeople and that the tantric and one of his friends promised to make him a billionaire and give him magical powers courtesy of the lamp.
Salespeople?
No, it was a woman, by the way, that he treated and supposedly was meeting with for post-surgery care. She was an occultist, and it was her husband that was pretending to be the spirit.
So cool.
The genie. Yeah. What are you going to do?
I mean, I wouldn't have bought the lamp, but,
Maybe you're so rich, you're like, what the hell? Let's just check this out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to take some risks.
Yeah.
And I already have a pretty diverse portfolio. I got Bitcoin. I got other cryptos.
I can either invest this into Quibi.
I got gold. I got all that stuff. Now let's start looking into magic stuff.
Also, that this Vice article says that it was over $250,000, whereas the Inside article said it was $93,000.
I bet it was $250,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Or something like that. There's something lost in translation based on
they call it
rates.
2.5 crore, CRORE.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering what that crore. I'm going to look up
million.
Crore, because what the heck is a crore?
See what that is. Okay. In the meantime, we've talked a lot about over the 5-year plus history of News AF about things that people are doing over their phones. Of course, there's a lot of reservations nowadays between people sexting, sending photos back and forth. But a new service is available called eGree, which allows your sexting partners to sign a NDA so that you would be sued for sharing any of your saucy selfies or messages. Danny, do you think that this is going to be a renaissance for the sexters out there?
If we've learned anything from certain people in the public eye, NDAs don't do anything really to protect
they
them.
don't matter.
They don't matter. People will trample NDAs all the time. So just know that if you're going to send that grisly dick pic, that NDA is not going to protect you.
You better have a really good, expensive lawyer, a much better, more expensive lawyer than the
or
opposition.
a lamp or a genie. One of your wishes might be to erase all your naughty pictures from the internet. That would actually be a good modern day wish if you had a genie.
I don't know if people know this about me. I'm not a big sexter.
I didn't know that. I'd always just assumed that.
I like to let people, let their imagination run wild, but it's not,
Let me check, because I've been getting a lot of crazy texts from you, Rob, and I just read
I
that
was
off
late at night.
I was hacked.
You were
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, because I was like, this is crazy.
But I'm interested to know how you make the pivot from, okay, this romantic talk is escalating. Can I send you a link to this eGree app so that you can sign this NDA?
Nothing gets the horn going harder than legalese and legal form.
I like the direction this is going. I'd like to take this to the next level, but
the thing I'm about to say, I don't want you sharing with anybody. So we have to do one extra step.
If we use this enough, eventually, I feel like the NDA could find itself in the erotic conversation. Like when you get hit with the NDA, it's all tantalizing and it tickles you in all the right areas.
Yeah.
Oh, we've reached the NDA stage, ready for takeoff.
Yeah. Although,
right before climax.
That being said, that I think that if the first message is like, I want to send you some pictures, like, okay, like, and then the next text is, hey, I just need you to sign this NDA link. I do think that actually you probably would get a lot of positive responses.
Yeah, it's like a paywall. Like you give them the first tastes for free, right? You get them interested, then bam, hit them with the NDA. By then they're so ramped up, they're like, yeah, I'll sign whatever. And then bam, you send them a couple other forms. Could be a way to maybe do some bad stuff, like hit them with an NDA, but they're so horned up that now you're sending them other things like rights of attorney.
They send over their bank account stuff, sign it all away.
That's not the right time to ask people to sign something, because most guys would probably sign anything if the next thing was a nude.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe is this entrapment then, Danny?
I feel like it could be.
Like
A
I was
little
under
bit.
duress when I signed that NDA.
I didn't have enough blood going to my head.
Clear state of mind.
You might be able to use that argument in court.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe that's the case. All right. And then just an update from last week's episode where we were talking about the striking first against the murder hornets. Not one, but two of the murder hornet queens have been captured. Boy, we have been having so much good news. 2020 turning around like that.
But no, this isn't good news. Not in the
Why
article
not?
I read. Because they said the odds of finding two queens most likely meant that there were a lot more out there.
So here's what you got to do.
Hmm.
You got to breed these queens with some insect that is super complacent and chill and laid back and super like the sloth of insects. And then release those to mate with all the other murder hornets, making them essentially docile little fun creatures that we would enjoy having around.
Oh my God.
I'm still all in for the Boston Dynamic dog that just wanders the forest with like a flamethrower and just locates these nests.
Flamethrower, you think? I think lasers. I think you got to go lasers.
Well, the battery pack necessary for a laser that could kill an entire murder hornet nest is just
but isn't that going to start some forest fires, Danny? When you have a robotic dog with a flamethrower.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know what? 2020 is in the time
wins that might say maybe not such a hot idea.
You're right, Rob. That was an oversight. Let's do lasers.
No, freeze them. Freeze the hornet's nest.
Oh yeah. So, okay, that's good.
The year 2021, the Northwest. Tyson, living in Washington State, gets up to go outside. His house has been perfectly weatherized to keep the heat in and the murder hornets out. As he gets ready to leave, he puts on his mask, puts his wallet and his keys and his phone in his pocket, puts on his fully wasp repellent suit and his electric tennis racket thingy that you can smack bugs with. And that's just the new norm, dude.
That's dystopia.
Taking one of those, or you can do the bug salt shooter thing too. Do you think a bug salt shooter will kill a murder hornet?
Never. They can barely kill a fly.
So you need the electric.
You need a shotgun.
No, you don't think that thing that electrocutes the bugs will work?
Isn't that what you were talking about with your? I thought your paddle,
the tennis racket. No, a tennis racket thing where you hit the bug.
Yeah,
the bug's weight pushes two wires together, which then shocks it. That'll work.
That's almost like a weapon out of Krull, right? Like right, they had like the electric but they almost had like a laser crossbow, Danny. Yeah,
they had like this weird spear thing that would shoot one spear and then shot it was very strange, but yeah, actually that's a good thing.
The Sausage King.
Oh dude, do you think the Sausage King was killed by some outer space, came down, got in there, shot an electric spear at his heart? Yeah, I wish that would make things so much more interesting if stuff like that happened.
Yeah, Tyson. Now, I don't think that the shooting or freezing out the murder hornet nest would work if they have weatherized their nests.
Correct, and
all the holes.
And I think a bundle of bees and probably a bundle of wasps all huddled together as well does create quite a bit of warmth.
The ultimate cuddle party.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next in the Murder Hornet saga. I have something else that I wanted to do here today that I thought might be a fun exercise before we get to Danny's Boltol.
Yoga?
Let's do it.
No. So that is a fun exercise. But on reality TV wrap-ups, so that we run promos for the different podcasts. We try to run one every single week. And I thought that would be a great promotion for News AF if we ran a News AF promo on our reality TV wrap-ups channel to let people know about News AF. But I thought that we could record the promo here during the podcast.
In one take?
In one take. I thought that maybe would be fun to try.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I just think it's important to say what the show is and then who we are and what happens every week on News AF.
Okay.
All right. So you ready?
Yep.
All right. I'll take it and then I'll throw it to Tyson.
Okay.
All right. Hey everybody, Rob Cesternino here, and every week on News AF, we're talking about the week's most interesting news stories with our amazing panel with pickleball influencer Tyson Apostle and adventure. Now, Danny, what's your title?
Eye in the sky, vascular D.
The eye in the sky?
Amateur adventurer. Let's do that.
Should we redo it again? Do we have to redo it again?
Yeah, I think we should take it again.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm Rob Cesternino, and every week on News AF, we're talking about the week's most interesting news stories from all over the world with top pickleball influencer Tyson Apostle and amateur adventurer Danny Bryson.
That's true. And also, don't forget, we delve deep into Danny's bolt hole.
Every week, I open myself to you. I honestly,
I don't think people are going to be getting what they want if they listen to this and then turn the
like
news up on and then this isn't what I wanted it to be.
Okay. Danny, what do you think is missing?
Oh, what do I think is missing?
I think it's too pornographic in nature, and we got to
obviously it's hard when trying to describe. What do? We give all you the important news stories.
Maybe we should talk about some of the things that we talk about, like murder hornets and the galactic salt mines.
All your Big Brother updates.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about all the news stories that really matter. Guys, from sausage kings to murder hornets.
I have to pee so bad, but I'm waiting until we get this done. And during the bolt hole song, I'm going to run and pee and then come back.
Do you think that having to pee will make you more effective or less effective?
The same.
Okay.
All right. We'll try one more time. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. Hey, I'm Rob Cesternino, and if you're not listening to News AF every week, you're missing out on the week's most interesting and often most stupid news stories that are happening every single week with top pickleball influencer Tyson Apostle and amateur adventurer Danny Bryson.
From the latest goop happenings to what's going on with the future galactic salt mines to the GPS coordinates of the most current sex couch. It's all here on News AF, right, Danny?
And by stupid, we mean stupidly important.
That's right. So catch us every single week live on Tuesdays or subscribe to the podcast at newsaf.news. And we always appreciate your feedback and star ratings at newsaf.news.
See ya.
Good. All right. I think we got it.
Good enough.
I think so too.
Good enough. All right. Let's go to the bolt hole before Tyson explodes. Here we go.
Welcome to my bolt hole. I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna feel you belong. A nocturnal.
Yeah.
I'm so glad this story I have was not covered in the News AF section because it was such a good story. I don't know how you probably saw it. I'm sure that people brought it up.
What?
It's about the robot with the realistic gaze, lifelike gaze.
No.
Oh my God.
With a lifelike gaze.
The real story isn't that the robot can follow your eyes and be very human-like when looking at you. The story is the look of the robot. Let's see if it's made by Disney. Let me give you a title so you can look this up. It's called the Disney's Humanoid Robot.
Yeah, you want me to put it up on the screen?
Yeah, because it's important to the story.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Disney humanoid with a lifelike gaze.
Okay. Disney gaze, Gaze. Okay. All right.
You'll know it when you see it.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Okay. All right. Here we go. So let's share this tab right here. And okay. Is it going to talk? All right. Here it is. From CNN Business. All right, am I gonna hit play on this video?
Yeah, we can't play. I haven't
All
watched
right.
this specific video, but let's watch
Disney's
it.
new robot has a creepily human gaze. Okay,
So the
should I
purpose of this
stare into its eyes.
robot is to be able to like look at you and follow your eyes, so to hold your gaze.
Okay. This creepy skinless being is Disney's latest animatronic. Okay. It creates the illusion of life with realistic eye movements. At the very least, it will look at this interaction will keep you up at night.
Sorry, I was asleep.
All right, you can pause it now. We saw just a little bit of it.
Yeah. What is the point of this? Oh, it's to that when you go on a ride, it will stare into your soul.
So I don't know why Disney's developing it, but this is
Are they redoing the Hall of Presidents, Danny?
Probably. This would be perfect for that. This is a step in human robot creation that has to take place. So I look at it as just this is someone else working on an aspect of robots that needs to be developed. You need robots to be able to follow your gaze, and that's what the purpose of this robot is. The thing I find most disturbing is obviously the overall look of the robot, because the people who made this thing obviously don't know very much about human interaction, because they thought that testing out a robot that looked like this. And by the way, this is like, to describe it to people who haven't seen the picture, lifelike eyes surrounded by hard plastic and what looks like the dentures of an old person, top and bottom, with giant clamps and wires going to it. And then above the eyes is another hole that allows you to see the movements of the eyes and the eyelid for the robot. It is so horrifying, and I just find it so strange that this is the thing they wanted to showcase. They didn't put any skin on it. They're like, no, look at this impressive robot.
Yeah.
This is Frozen 3, right? This is just a little version. Just getting a sneak peek of Frozen 3.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing is probably it's more terrifying when the Terminator has all of its skin melted off. This is more terrifying than that when it emerges from the hot steel. It's like the scariest robot face. I think I wish I could have been this for Halloween.
Yeah, it's interesting that Disney is on the cutting edge of this robot technology that we expected that the biggest advances in the robot department were going to be made in the sex robot industry.
Well, this is important because you have DARPA and you have Boston Dynamics working on practical robots for, specific purposes. But then you have entertainment and other people like that working on like the sex industry, and Disney working on making them humanoid. And eventually I think that you'll merge the two and create this terrifying humanoid, but very functional robot that can do all sorts of exciting things. And now we know that another problem has been solved, and the robot that kills you will be able to look you in the eye as it drains you.
Make eye contact. Yeah.
I heard that Disney bought all of the patents and trademarks from Showbiz Pizza right before it went out of business.
Oh, that's great.
And so they got all the animatronic proprieties that those guys were holding on to for years and years, because I think they actually perfected the lifelike robot
that could look you in the eyes
40-something years ago.
And by the way, the certain industries are going to need eye contact because the eyes are the window to the soul. So the eyes of the robot, one of the most important parts, because you want that robot to look into your soul and gaze deep into it as it does whatever weird thing it's about to do to you. So that's an important feature, and Disney knows that, and that's why they're working on it.
If you want to make a real connection with a robot, they have to at least maintain eye contact,
The last thing I want in the world, to be honest, right now, is eye contact from a robot. Yeah. I mean, I would feel
you don't
so
want it from
uncomfortable.
people.
No, not at all. And if this thing would be great for Tyson's story. Put this guy at the counter at the airline. He's got nothing but eye contact with the irate customer.
Yeah. And that customer just gets more irate.
As he looks right through her.
Right through her. Not even and his eyes were so glazed from just being 5 a.m. that he probably wasn't even seeing anything.
But this is an exciting development. That's why I brought it up. It's an important step in creating lifelike humanoid robots.
Do you think Disney just sees it as a business opportunity and are like, sex robots are going to need to make eye contact, so let's be the ones to develop it, trademark it, sell it to Boston Robot Dog, who will then somehow be repurposed for more sensual behaviors.
Well, all robots will have to interact with humans, and humans will feel more comfortable the more human-like the robot is. So
Really?
this is
because that's what they said when they were advertising the film Beowulf, and I was super uncomfortable.
Okay, the uncanny valley is what they call it.
Yes.
So, but I do think that if you could get to the point where, I don't know, Tyson, I kind of agree with what you just said about Beowulf. It was very disturbing.
Yeah.
You felt like in the back of your mind, you always knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
But
everything was wrong.
A robot's ability to follow your eyes is something that is necessary. So you understand that the robot knows what you're saying and maybe knows how you feel. Like that's an important step in robot technology. Okay. If Siri had eyes, Siri's the worst, by the way, but if she had eyes and pretended like she was listening to me, because she's just not capable of performing any of the tasks, from speech to text, from making text messages to sending text messages, she gets it all wrong. But if she had a set of eyes, if the iPhone popped up some eyes, I might feel a little bit more reassured when giving commands to Siri. If those eyes were following me, I'd be like, oh, you know what? Siri's trying. She's listening. She's making a lot of mistakes, but I can tell from the way that she's looking at me, she's trying.
Right.
And so this technology is important.
So you would like it better if your phone had eyes that watched you all day?
I'm just saying that might help. I don't know if I would like it more.
I don't think it would help.
Okay. Well, it will help you when you go to your first robot for personal,
it's not, I'm going to feel self-conscious. That was the beauty of robots, is that I didn't think they cared about my appearance or anything. And now I'm going to have to be on guard 24/7, careful to never pick my nose, to always be on my best behavior, to always be in a good mood.
Tyson, why don't you look at me anymore like you used to?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Guys, the future's coming, whether you want it or not. I mean, it could stop at any moment, with an asteroid or whatever, but on this trajectory, it will be long before Tyson's got his own personal robot in his closet. He's making eye contact with him, just waiting for it to be summoned to do whatever it is you do with your robot.
Yeah. Susie says, I really don't want my robot to demand anything of me. I don't want him looking at me.
I think that this is a requirement in a robot. I really do. I think if you had a faceless robot, let's say that it was just a giant metal head, I think that would be more disturbing, especially if the head was slowly rotating in a 360 way the whole time you were talking to it. You'd be like, this is disturbing.
But what if it just had like one camera that kind of pivoted in the middle of its metal face? That would be better than real looking eyes.
No, I think that feels too militaristic and I really think it needs eyes if you're going to interact with it.
What about LED face, where it's just like an LED screen and then it's just got like animated eyes and stuff? That's better.
You don't think that Disney is doing focus groups on what people want in their sex robots?
Yeah, but I think that
polling hundreds of people, and this is what they got out of that polling.
Yeah,
I know. But if Disney was like, hey, Tyson, you want to be part of this focus group? I'd be like, absolutely not. That's why they're not getting the truth from the people who have the time.
They're getting survey people.
They're getting survey people.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is what survey people want.
You feel like they're doing a lot of research, and this is what they got. This is what people asked for.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
And maybe this is what
with eyes that follow you around.
This is what survey people punked them so hard with. They're like, they're burning Disney down from the inside.
Survey people don't.
You think it's just like TikTok trolls that are like responding to this and like, oh, this would be so hilarious to make Disney spend all this money on something nobody wants.
Exactly.
Look, they put some skin on this, some lips, some eyebrows.
Easy, Danny.
I'm saying I don't think you have a problem. In its current form, yes. If this is your bank teller or your taxi driver and it turns its head around without turning its body to look at you, you are running in terror. But I think you throw some skin on this thing and it's following you with its eyes. I think you feel comfortable when it tells you, like whatever it is.
I'm about to harvest your organs, sir.
Take me to Sarah Connor.
Yeah. Will you sign this NDA?
Yes, I will. Yes, this is another situation in which I will.
I thought this was just Disney and Apple collaborating on the iPhone 13. Isn't that what I think that's what we just saw.
The iPhone, it follows you with its eyes. Yeah.
This is the iPhone 13. Yeah, next year.
Okay. All right, Danny, anything else you want to add?
No, nothing. This is enough.
This is enough. Okay. All right. Danny, what will you do next with your car?
I don't know. I gotta go take it in and have someone tell me how much it's gonna cost, and the whole time that's happening, I'll feel like they're ripping me off.
Yeah, you'll know they'll be skeptical of whatever they say.
If I had this robot with me to help negotiate, I guarantee you I get a better price.
Not to help negotiate, just to download everything about car knowledge into its brain.
Just to stare down the mechanics. Because
true.
you're not going to be like, the mechanic will be like, I'm afraid to say anything that's
You're
wrong.
a good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a lifelike gaze, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to go do that. I got to go fix that problem. Like, I hate cars and I love them at the same time, just like water.
Just like water.
Yeah, it's a love hate.
It is a love-hate thing
Yeah.
with water for Danny.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the last thing is, if you haven't voted, then you shouldn't have listened to this hour and a half long podcast. You should have been out
No,
there.
what if you're listening to it on the way to vote or at the poll?
Or you already voted. Yeah, all of that's great.
Yeah.
I was hoping we wouldn't talk about voting so that people could pretend like that's not happening today. Let
Well,
this
that's
be like
you
a
know that's
vacation
what I was
from
trying
reality.
to get to. That
I was
it
trying
a stressful
to,
day for
too.
people. Yeah.
I was trying to do that too, but everywhere I turned, everywhere it was there.
hmm Yeah. Well,
Is that today?
yes.
Tyson, pickleball?
More pickleball coming up. I have a very important meeting tomorrow, so hopefully some more good news on the way.
Ooh.
And
I love those promotional pictures. They look so glossy and
you like
professional.
those?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
Tyson, and like your hair just looks so good in
It
one
does
of them.
look
It's so
good,
shiny.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks really. I thought so too. I was like, my hair is on.
Where was
point
that
right there.
on Instagram?
It was on Instagram. And I wondered if they brought in a hair model,
A hair
a
model.
body double. I'm like, is that really Tyson's hair? Because that looks
Mhm.
really good.
Yeah, it was me. It was my real
Wow.
hair, dude.
All you. Now I know.
All me, all the time.
Let me see this. Oh, okay.
Yeah. See that hair?
You see
Oh,
that
yeah,
hair?
listening?
which? Yeah,
The one with the
from
back of
from
my
back.
head.
The one with the
Yeah,
back when he's
yeah.
turned around. Yeah.
Yeah, you look very shiny.
So shiny.
But in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyson, what were you guys for Halloween?
We were the family of Coraline.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
So
Mhm.
Coraline is a Tim Burton movie that's pretty creepy, but Bergen loves it. She wanted to be Coraline, and then
Mhm.
she has another dimension that she can get to through this old house where
Oh, that's why you
another
said other mom, other dad.
the other mom and other dad who have buttons for eyes live there.
I've seen
Ah,
the
that's
movie, but I didn't
creepy.
remember other mom and other dad.
Other mother and other father,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you will.
Okay.
Danny, what were you for Halloween?
Nothing. I'm a grown man with children. I'm 41. I don't dress up.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I'm very happy I didn't dress up this year.
And by the way, my kids don't care. Everyone's like, "Oh, my kids wanted me to dress up." My kids only care about their costumes and their friends' costume. They don't care about my
Yeah.
costume.
My kids were so happy that we went through a drive-through. They threw candy in the car. They had all the candy. that they still
That's
have the
awesome.
candy. They were counting the candy. They're sorting the candy. So we have the endless supply of candy here. Where everybody's so happy.
Bergen and Marlo, did you guys eat all of your Halloween candy already?
No.
Some
I heard one yeah and one
ascension.
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever said yes, even though they have existing candy, it now becomes mine.
Mhm.
Smart.
You take it over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Tyson, anything else that you want to add?
I mean, we have Rob versus Tyson tomorrow. I think episode 6 of Token Chains rewatch, and then some Survivor trivia. And
I hope
then
JT is going to be nicer to Spencer this time.
I hope so too. I mean, I watched that and was really disgusted with the
Not a
way
good luck.
JT
Yeah.
treated
Yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah.
And we have Expedition Online, which is a strategy-based game that we are going into casting.
Hi.
And and that's going to happen all this week. So you can follow me on
Expedition
social.
Online, you're going into casting. What that
We're casting a show that's going to be shown on our Twitch channel.
Yes.
And that's going to start happening. I think Rob and I are going to choose the tribes out of the people that have been chosen for the show. And
Hi.
and
Hi.
well, when I was a child that would do this to my father, I would get in big trouble. but I'm
Yeah.
such a nice
Things
dad.
have changed.
They sure have. So, yeah, that's coming up, and just more to come on that channel. We're just going to add more and more content to our Twitch channel.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Be on the lookout for that. And no Big Brother on Wednesdays now to distract
dang.
people from Rob versus Tyson.
But we still have the updates coming, right? Is Danny going to hit us with some of those?
Yeah, later. I still need to catch up and still need to binge watch this whole last season. Man,
All right.
I missed out.
All right, be on the lookout for that. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, you can subscribe every week to newsaf.news. We appreciate your feedback and star ratings. Until next time, we'll be back on next Tuesday.
Sounds good. We did it, guys.